Hello guys, uh, we're here again at your service at my service Ltd. So now I want to show you how to replace spark plug in 2016 Dodge Caravan or Grand Caravan. Anyway, before we replace the spark plug, the reason why we need to replace the spark plug, not only because of the maintenance, but because we're having problem on this one. When you're running, it's something like the engine or the vehicle is shaking. So the owner says it could be a transmission problem, but after we scan it, we can see the problem or the code like P0302 and 300 or POs 300, so which is multiple misfire and cylinder number 2 misfire. So we don't know what exactly the problem is, but of course it could be the spark plug or it could be ignition coil. But first of all, to lessen our costs to replace the spark plug, so we all know that sometimes if we are rich, so we have to replace this ignition coil as well, right? But of course, for the meantime, we have to observe the spark plug, what's going on the spark plug, so before we're replacing ignition coil. But anyway, so this is the procedure how to replace the spark plug, but this is a little bit tough because you have to take it out the intake manifold, right? So unlike the other vehicle that you can only remove the spark plug without taking off the intake manifold, but this time we need to take off the manifold. So there is a 8mm bolt here that connected on the middle of this intake manifold, and then of course we all know that Canada, it's too cold. Sometimes all the connectors is brittle. You have to be careful to remove that, right? So, but anyway, so we start to do some or better spray some silicone or DW40 or whatever it is, or lubricant, to make sure that the connector is not stick on the sensor or whatever. Hi guys, this is the clip for the air intake. You have to take it off this clip because there's a bolt underneath here on your clip here. So you have to be careful because there is a nut here. So yeah, you can take it off this one. So it's not a big deal. There's no clamp on the air duct, so you can simply remove that one. Then this is the bolt and the other bolt here in the middle. So that's good. Remove this not remove, just hanging this hose so that you can remove the two bracket here, one, and there's another one here, bracket. Okay, but you have to take it off this one. You have to loosen both of them. While and there's another one at the back here. Okay, there's another one at the back here, like this one, and then the other one here. So it's hard to remove this bracket. So rather than to remove this bracket, better remove the bracket in front. These two brackets. So there's a 13mm nut underneath here. You have to loosen so that you can do this. And then this one too. There's another 13mm underneath here. Okay, underneath that. Okay, so yeah,
that's we need to remove on the intake manifold bracket.
Guys, this is the intake manifold, and this is the spark plug. So how do you find out where is the ignition coil number 2? So which is to find out, if you look at the arrangement of the intake manifold, the nearest hole forward to the engine, it's your number 1, so means the number 1 is there, and this is your number 2 intake manifold. 2, 4, 6, and the other one is 1, 3, 5. So that is the how you find where is the number 1 or 2 cylinder. So bank 1 or bank 2. Bank 1 is the closest and the closest to the wall, and the number 2 is forward or front of the vehicle. Okay, this is how you find and see. Now we have a problem with the number 2 cylinder, so which is this one. Okay, but of course we have to find out what's wrong with this number 2 cylinder, which is either spark plug or ignition coil.
You have to cover the intake manifold so that it does any foreign materials or any balls or anything drops inside the cylinder head. It might damage your cylinder or your bulb, right? So cover it, make sure that it will not drop anything on your intake manifold.
I guess it's just the spark plug problem. So yeah, look at this one. It's an original Champion. Okay, so we have to replace the spark plug first. Then to put the new spark plug. So this is all the spark plug that we took off from the vehicle. So it's about time to need to be replaced. Okay, and then don't forget to put back this cover underneath, because sometimes you forget it. So make sure that you have to put it back, because that is the insulation for the intake manifold, or cover for the intake manifold. Okay. Okay guys, now we fix everything, but I found out that the ignition number 2, it's faulty, so I have to replace the ignition number 2, because when I swap the 2 coil between 2 and 4, so the misfire was 4 after I swapped the 2 coil. So you know already that's the problem. It's not only the spark plug, but you have to replace the ignition coil as well. And the procedure, you have to remove the intake manifold again to enable to replace the ignition coil. So hopefully that I will give you a tip to perform spark plug and ignition coil at the same time, diagnose the 302 and P0300 code. Please click down below, and then I will make more video on my garage. Thank you for watching.